From the great state of Illinois, Janice Schakowsky.
I'm so happy to be with you, Steph.
And I did note you are not wearing your official Chicago Steph Head shirt, which I assume you wear to Congress every day, but you look lovely nonetheless.
I wear it every time I work out, so I thought it was kind of smelly today. So anyway.
Thank you, because we are in smell-o-vision today, so thank you for that, Congresswoman. Now, so let's talk about, first of all, obviously the headline about the January 6th commission. God bless Speaker Pelosi. I think, she pointed out yesterday that she gave them every single thing they asked for a 9/11 style bipartisan commission, every single thing, and they still said no. So, I believe her when she says this is what a great solemnity. I mean, this is not the way she wanted to go. But obviously, all right, I'm going to jump ahead. But you have members that clearly seem to be complicit in this, that do not want to get to the truth. Clearly, Donald Trump doesn't want them to get to the truth. So what are your thoughts on the select committee?
Well, she is going to form a select committee, and it was the last choice. We agreed to 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats to be on a commission. As you said, every single thing that they asked for, they got. So we really called their bluff. What they really wanted, though, was not only to investigate January 6th, but to investigate the Black Lives Matter peaceful demonstrations, that those should be equivalent somehow. It's just unbelievable.
They weren't involved. It would be like, a 9/11 commission that, investigated the Moose Club in addition to Al-Qaeda. Like they weren't involved. They weren't there on January 6th. Yeah.
Exactly. And as you said, we know that there are some members of Congress who are actually complicit in some way, perhaps giving them a tour of the building the day before, of letting them in the doors. So we need to see exactly what happened, and if there's liability somewhere, we need to identify it. So we're going to have a select committee, and we're going to people want to know more about it. We even have members now who are saying it was just another day of visitors at the Capitol. What?
Nothing they say makes sense, Congressman. First it was violent Antifa and BLM, people pretending to be Trump supporters. Then it was peaceful tourists. Now the latest thing is that it's the FBI is behind. I mean, it's really sort of dizzying, the list of things they're going through. I mean, I guess my question, though, is this going to have teeth? I mean, because, say Kevin McCarthy, he needs to testify. He talked to Trump on January 6th and told him to call off your mob. And Trump said, these are my people. And Kevin McCarthy said, yes, they are. Well, so now he's gone radio silent. Well, what happens when you subpoena people and they don't show up as usual? Do you send them to jail, I hope?
I think even, yes, when people don't even follow a subpoena, I think there needs to be consequences. But I think what the American people will see, that we are serious about finding out exactly what happened and where the Republicans are standing in the way of the truth about what went on. And there are plenty of people, and I'm sure even on the Republican side too, that are still suffering from the trauma of that day, and hardly a day goes by that we don't talk about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, and to have these same people that were cowering under desks with you guys and being shown how to wear gas masks on TV, saying these were peaceful tourists and patriots, and Okay, so let's talk about the other big story yesterday, infrastructure. You tweeted, the American Jobs Plan gives us a historic opportunity to act on climate and put Americans to work. We have no time for half measures. So give us your take on this, Representative. We're going 2 tracks, I guess. Hang on, let's listen to the president real quick. This is cut 7, President Biden yesterday on this bipartisan thing he announced, and then the reconciliation one.
So what I expect that in the coming months this summer, before the fiscal year is over, that we will have voted on this bill as well, the infrastructure bill, as well as voted on the budget resolution. And that's when they'll, but if only one comes to me, I'm not, if this is the only thing that comes to me, I'm not signing it.
So you've seen Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham both having a fit this morning. What is your take on what is going to happen with infrastructure?
Infrastructure has been bipartisan for as long as I've been here, and I think way before too, because everybody wants to be able to have the improvements in their communities and in their districts. So the president emerged from a meeting with 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans from the White House yesterday and said, we have a deal. And the deal is that we're going to have a portion that will be bipartisan dealing with infrastructure. And I hope that that is still true this morning. They changed their minds so many times.
Yeah.
And then we will have a reconciliation bill, meaning 50 votes will be needed to do the rest of it, to do the care, community, long-term care for our elders, that will be able to do a lot of the jobs work, the climate change in a separate bill that will only need 50 votes, 51 votes with the vice president to pass. And that is what I understood was the deal as of yesterday.
Yeah.
And if they want to cut their nose to spite their face and not do infrastructure, then I think that is a really bad political decision for them because people want action. They want help.
I think everything you're working on, Representative, speaks to one of us. I mean, I'm going to see my 98-year-old mom with Alzheimer's on Monday. She really needs skilled nursing. It is prohibitively expensive for most any family. And I mean, unless you can qualify for Medicaid. I mean, so the stuff that you talk about, I think impacts so many real people's lives in terms of elder care. You talk a lot about how women have taken the brunt of, in the COVID economy of childcare, that they don't, it's not people don't want to go back to work. It's that kids haven't been in school, right? We need, so I mean, just all of those things that aren't roads and bridges are still infrastructure, right?
Including help for childcare, and we're going to put a lot of money into childcare. But on the elder care front, absolutely. A sociologist said, quoted to me, she said, other countries have safety nets. The United States has women.
Yeah.
The United States has women. And
we were the entirety of the job loss during COVID, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so $400 billion going into home and community-based care. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
If, when we get this done.
Yeah. Now, you just simply tweeted abolish the filibuster. I couldn't be with you more. But specifically, I feel like if we don't do something on voting rights, Representative, nothing else matters. None of this other stuff that we're talking about and you're working on matters. It's, as you said, there's no reason why voting rights legislation, there is a reason it has broad bipartisan support from voters across the country. We all deserve the same freedom to vote. That's why I voted for H.R. 1. You said voters should be able to pick their elected leaders, not the other way around. We need to pass comprehensive legislation to put an end to partisan gerrymandering, make sure politicians can't pick their voters. It's hard to tell what's happening, right? Because you see a sliver of light with Joe Manchin, and then Kyrsten Sinema comes out and writes it. I mean, do you think we will even get to reform of the filibuster to get anything done?
Well, if we have reform, then it would be about voting rights. If we could do that, even just on that, say, because it's at the heart, the center of our democracy, just with a simple majority. I am very proud to tell you and to your listeners that I am sponsoring every single voting rights bill more than any other member of the House of Representatives. 13 different
Of course
bills.
you are. Of course you are. That's what makes you the rockin' Congresswoman. There is no one else with that title.
Not to brag or anything.
But if you don't, I will do it. I will brag for you.
Oh, okay.
You also, by the way, thank you for pointing out to people, families, mark July 15th on your calendar. You'll receive monthly payments via direct deposit or mail up to $250 a child between the ages of 6 and 17, or up to $300 a child under the age of 6. Go to childtaxcredit.gov. So there's stuff in the bill that you've already passed that I don't think people even know yet, right?
On July 15th, checks will arrive. I get choked up when I think about it, because this one provision is projected to cut in half child poverty in the United States of America. Now, as the richest country in the world, you would think we wouldn't have so much child poverty, but we do.
Yeah.
And this would cut it in half. It's talk about a game changer. This is remarkable.
Yeah.
And so people should make sure that they go to that website that you said, to make sure that that check will be going to their right to them.
Yeah.
For their children.
Yeah. You're just like the fairy godmother of everything good that happens in the Congress. You did an LGBT business bill you just passed that, of course, Republicans blocked. You've always been fighting for our rights, our LGBT rights. You did contraceptives for the military, women bill that was also blocked previously that finally passed. I mean,
think about that.
Yeah.
This is 2021 and we're fighting over contraception. Really? And for people in the military? Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is where the Republicans are.
Well, I have to get your take on Tucker Carlson calling General Milley stupid and a pig last night on Fox News, and Laura Ingraham calling to defund the military.
The disrespect that I have seen, because in my budget committee, we also had some of the military, and the Republicans would begin with things like, what you have to understand, talking to people that have actually put their lives on the line for our country, have served as leaders in the military for decades and decades. And they are trying to mansplain these individuals on how things really are. It's just so disrespectful.
Yeah. Speaking of, we circle back to our original point that girls, specifically girls from Illinois. This was the anniversary of Title IX earlier this week. You announced Patsy Mink, who authored the title, would get a portrait in the Capitol. So you've been working on that as well.
But I want to tell you, the reason I was working on that is that if you ask people, who is the first woman of color ever to serve in the United States House of Representatives, the answer is Patsy Mink, a name that isn't heard enough. She was representing Hawaii in 1972. She brought us Title IX, which means that women and girls must have equal opportunity to sports and education in the United States of America. It was a really big change in our country. We're still really fighting to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
But still.
I mean, you fight every day, Representative, against just unbelievable. I don't even know what this version of the Republican Party is. They're just against everything, but you never give up. And so thank you for that. And tell us again quickly before you go, because a lot of us lay people, we don't know how this sausage is made on infrastructure. But so Speaker Pelosi said yesterday, she's not passing anything in the House, correct? That's where we are, unless it's both things, the reconciliation bill and the bipartisan infrastructure bill the president announced yesterday. So what happens now and on what time frame?
Well, it's good. The bills are being marked up. I know that in the budget committee, we're going to start right now, very soon, on the reconciliation bill, that bill that will allow just 80 votes, a majority, to get things done in the finally in the Senate. So this is all moving quickly. We're at a moment of gelling, finally, to get the things that we need, that are supported in a bipartisan way in the rest of the country, if not within the walls of the United States Congress. People want help. They want solutions. They want to see something done. And Democrats have now declared that we're insisting that that's going to happen, or we're not going to do even the things that the Republicans want to do without getting all the things that we want.
Progressive warrior woman, Janice Schakowsky. Can I just ask a personal thing? Is there anything in the infrastructure bill, say you have a rodent problem that is gnawing at the infrastructure of your home or your radio and TV studio maybe? Is there anything for rodent control in the infrastructure? No?
Yeah, I would welcome all of the suggestions of how we can move forward with these things. My constituents, and I consider you an honorary one. If you think I need to do something, you better tell me.
Okay, all right. I will. The peanut butter has failed, so we will move on to Plan B. All right, Representative Janice Schakowsky. I am an honorary Chicagoan, and yes, sexy liberal coming back to Chicago. You get that Steph Head T-shirt ready. You and Jill Weinbanks. I'm calling you back up for duty. Right.
Okay.
Thanks.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Representative. All right. There she goes, the rockin' Congresswoman.